Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Thfc till I die. This is an update on the very successful charity stream that we ran last Saturday for 12 hours, and with the proceeds going to the Advocates for Autism group in Gorey, County Wexford. And we'd just like to thank everybody who's contributed so far to the fund. And just to remind you that it is still open. We're going to keep it open for a few more days, and the more we can raise for this absolutely wonderful group who does this brilliant work, the better. And hopefully we'll get a few more pounds and euros in and whatever until we actually close the fund in a few days' time. So anyway, I was going to hand you over to the man himself, Dermot, who's going to introduce our guest this morning or this afternoon. How are you, Dermot?
Yeah, I'm grand, Philip. I got a bit of a cold. That's why I got you to open. A bit of a chesty cough, but I'm grand. Couldn't not do this today. We were supposed to do it yesterday. It wasn't feel yesterday, but I had to do it today. But yeah, we have Christine, who is part of the Advocates for Autism, and also Debbie, who also runs it as well, is behind the scenes as well. So we'll just go through some of the chats here. That's the GoFundMe link. It is pinned at the top of the chat. So please still give, even if it's 50 cents. 50 cents will go a long way. So please do that. And then also, this is the link for the Facebook page for Advocates for Autism. If you have a child or you know somebody that needs help, even if you live in England, America, Vietnam even, which we've gone out to, it does help. Facebook is a world of getting people together and helping and advice. So please hit that link. And also, while you're there, please hit this link as well. There's an awards nominations. They're trying to, I think it's to get the best charity in Wexford, I think. Yeah. Please, everyone, hit that link, hit that nomination, give them the votes. Let's get them there. Yeah. And I'm sure we will. And we will do that. So big up, everyone. Of course, you can get a patron as well with us. For every patron you get, we will double that and put that into the charity. So we will do that. So, and also, once we get to 1,000, 10% or 5 or 10% of what we make out of super chats and memberships and super stickers will be going to the Advocates for Autism as well. So we are going to keep them, link them in onto the channel as well. But we've got Carl Simpson. Good afternoon. He says, hope you're well. Good afternoon, Carl. How are you? I hope you enjoyed the match yesterday. It was a bit mad, but we will be going into that later. The first half hour of the show is all about AFA. It's all about the charity. It's all about Christine and what she's been through, and also what the rest of the mammies and the ladies behind this group get up to. And please, it's really important because these people go through hell and there isn't the help there. So we need to get behind this charity and really push it as far as we can. Big up John Fitzpatrick, my Irish brother. He goes, coys. Big up to everyone. Big up John Fitzpatrick. Hope you're doing all right. We've got Martina Jensen. Big up Martina. She's Advocate for Autism, represented by the wonderful Christine today. Good luck. We're all behind you, girl. Big up, Martina. I'm glad you've come in as well. John Fitzpatrick, big up to all three of you. AFA has a special place in my heart. Big up, John. And we know that as well. So big up, John, as well. And then we've got Charlene Kennedy, no better lady to represent AFA Gorey. Exactly.
Thank you, sir.
Big up, Charlene. Right. We're going to hand over now to you, Christine. Don't be nervous. You know, we've all been here. We've all done YouTube first. And we've all been here. So you're going to be grand. Can you tell people about what AFA is about and what you do as a charity, especially with all the mammies as well?
Right. So we're a local registered charity. It was founded by a group of mammies a good few years ago. It's based in Gorey. It's for kids with ASD and ADHD. We aim to make a difference in the lives of children by promoting and the awareness of autism and understanding it, because a lot of people don't understand it. You have to be living in the world to understand it. You know, it all looks, but on the inside, it's trying to help your child so much, you know. Like for me personally, I'm my son's voice. I'm his stepping stone. Like he can't say what he wants, what he needs. I have to be his voice. So there's a lot of mammies out there. There's a lot of families out there. And with this group, now I found Advocates for Autism through Facebook, through Mary, the chairperson, is just an amazing woman. All the mammies are amazing. All the daddies are amazing. All the kids are amazing. But it personally, for me, it was through Facebook that they were going to Pirates Cove. I'm going to talk about the people that really, really help us throughout Gorey as well in a little bit. But that's how I found it. And I just went that Sunday morning, me and Alfie walked into the unbeknowns of who was going to be there. And I was welcomed with open arms by every single person. It was just, the light bulb went off for me. I felt like I'm not on my own. I'm not on my own anymore. It is the biggest community group. Now, we've only got 37 members, and we are open for anybody that wants to come and join us. We have monthly meetings every month in the Loch Ormond in Gorey. They're really, really kind to us there. They let us have a room that we can have a monthly meeting, and everybody's welcome. Anybody that needs, we're there. I'm like, personally, I can only give my personal advice, but there's mammies there that help everybody else out. If I don't know something, I finally have somebody that I can ask a question to, instead of not being able to. I can pick up the phone and ring the HSE, a million different numbers, and not one person answers. Just to give me an advice, a bit of advice, or just answer a question for me. There's nobody there. And the government is failing us. Like it's failing everybody in respect of us trying to get our kids into a school. It is like you have to knock down walls and knock on doors and fill out forms, and you do it all, and then you're told to do one thing and then you give it in, and then you're told to do another thing, you give it in, and you're still shut down. We have a lot of kids in a couple of different schools that are based around Gorey. Some of our kids will have to leave the schools that they're in when they finish in 6th class, and it's there is a unit down here. There is a unit down here that should be for secondary level, ready to go, but they're not. They haven't opened it. They haven't opened it. There's mammies in our group that they don't know where to go. They don't know what to do, because some of their kids have to leave the school that they're in to go on to secondary level. The secondary level's there for them, but the door is closed. Sorry, Jeremy.
No, Christine, I mean, the government is failing you, to be fair. It really is failing you. And it's failing you in a way of you're not getting the help you and the rest of the mammies deserve. Look, Debbie knows what, I know people that have been through it. Debbie knows that as well. I mean, I was diagnosed myself during the pandemic. As an adult, it's difficult enough. But as a child, it's 20 times worse, because you're going through all the changes you have to go through as you grow up. And there isn't the places there for children that need this. It's only a little bit extra help you're asking for. You're not asking for anything more or anything less. It's just a little bit. So what would the money we raise and do? How would that help you in your fight going forward?
How it would help, what you've just said, like what you've just said there, that we're the ones that have to help the kids, and we're the ones that have to try and get them out socializing, because there's nothing there for the kids to do, like speech and language, occupational therapy. You're on waiting lists. So we're raising funds so we can do our own independent occupational therapy and our own things. And this is coming together as a group. When we're together as a group, say when we go to Kids Zone once a month, and our kids, and they're very, very, very kind to let us have their building just for us from 9:30 till 11 with the lights on, and just us, our kids, that they've all kind of grown a bond together, as the mammies and daddies have as well. And we feel safe there because we're all in the same environment. Pirates Cove do the same thing for us as well. They give us their fun caves and their bowling upstairs, and we get that for 2 hours on a Sunday, some Sundays. And now we all pay for that. We pay the mammies, the Advocates for Autism don't do that. What we are raising our funds for is for other things that we can do for socializing with our kids. There's swimming, horse riding. It's so therapeutic, but we can't get funding for these things. There is so many activities we would love to do with the kids, but it's all based on fundraising. You know, every child. Sorry.
ask one question, just to go back to something you said earlier there. You mentioned that there was a room available and premises available for children once they leave primary school and secondary school. What is the reason it's not open? Is it budgetary, or is it the fact that they don't have trained staff to man the room?
I think it's a bit of both. It's probably a bit of both.
Right.
There's a school up the road from the school I'm talking about, and they have a few places. And so they want to fill them places before they open this perfectly adapted unit, waiting for the kids that are actually in the same school, but they have to leave in 6th class. But that school is there for them to not have to leave in 6th class, if you understand me. They can stay in the school and transfer over to a different unit in the school instead of going through a whole big turmoil of upping them out of the whole school to a completely different building. And it's all about regulating with our kids. It's all about them knowing their environment. And for you to take kids with autism out of the environment that we've tried to adapt them in, to put them in another one, it's not easy. It's not easy plain sailing. It can take years again for them to adapt.
It's changing, isn't it? They don't like change. I mean, you take
no,
a child.
They don't like change. No kid likes change.
You take a child out of where he feels it's a safe environment for him.
Yeah.
And in his own mind, it's a safe environment, and you take him out of that, and there's nothing else to put him into. Yeah. Either he's going to go back as a child, or he's going to go the other way where he's going to get worse because there's not that environment. Yeah. So look, we know there's a school there, but it can't be open because of obvious reasons. What would you want the government to do to help you? I mean, we know we've got problems in Ireland with this, where it's swept under the carpet. It's not very, people still like not to talk about it in public. It's still sort of a taboo subject, which is ridiculous in 2022.
100%, yeah.
You look at people over the water in England that are probably a bit more ahead of us than we are over here. But you look at children in America who are far behind us. So do you know what I mean? You look at the 3 biggest countries, America, us, and England, and we seem to be in the middle. But you look at countries like America who are way behind us. What do you want the governments of the world to do to get together? Because this is important. It's not just about the children. It's about the families. It's about the support network. What do you want, especially our government, the Taoiseach now, the new one coming in now on the 15th, I think, of this month, we're getting a new Taoiseach. What do you want the new Taoiseach to do, and the new Minister for Education? What do you want them to do?
Listen. I want them to listen. I want them to understand.
Yeah.
Our world is different, okay? But it's not a bad different. It's a good different. But I want them to open their ears and listen to what families are asking for and families are crying for, and have sleepless nights over worrying about their kids, because that's what I do. That's what a lot of people do, and we're in force trying to get this all in motion. We are going to, sorry, Debbie's prompting me here.
No, you're
Debbie's great. She knows a little bit more.
Can I just say something about that lady, Debbie? Right, I know Debbie very well. I won't go into how I know Debbie, but I do know Debbie very well. And
I can say it's through Afa, and she's part of my family now. She's an amazing woman. All the mammies are amazing, and I know they're all watching, and I love you all. So
Debbie, for me, is an inspiration, not just for me, to all the mammies out there. And she's one hell of a lovely lady. She really is, and love her to bits. And she knows that we're there for her, and we're there for all the mammies as well on this channel. But Debbie knows other reasons. But Debbie is an inspiration to a lot of mammies out there, and I think she should just take a bow, and everyone should give her a lot of accolades, because that woman deserves it, because she is a diamond. She really is.
I tell her I love her every day. They're my accolades, because I
love all them too.
She's in the background there, having her coffee. But
just a few comments coming in here as well. We'll just pick them up.
We've a few things coming up now.
Can we just get through these comments here? There's a few comments coming in about this as well.
Charlene Kennedy says, no better lady for representing AFA Gorey. Spot on, absolutely. And Corey Boy 85 is saying, going to get my wee man checked out as he's showing signs of autism, and it does worry me as he's nearly 3 and is hardly speaking. Do you have anything to say there to Corey Boy there, Christine, that it might put his mind at ease there?
AON.
I was first applied for AON.
Debbie's prompting me again. Debbie, come around. Yeah. Personally, with me, how I figured out was I went to my public health nurse and then I went to my doctor and they referred me. Now, it was a 2-year journey of literally, come in and say hi, Debbie.
Hello, everybody. Hi.
So I'd say to Corey, go with your instincts. You know your son better than anybody else. And you might need to knock on a few doors, but AF is always here. If you are local to us,
we're willing to help.
We're willing to help, whatever we can do to help. We have our monthly meetings in the Loch Ormond Arms. We have a Facebook page, Advocates for Autism, AFA. Check us out. And if we can help out in any way, even if you're not in Wexford, just give us a shout and we can try. If we can give advice to anybody. As I said, we're a little small group, but we don't want to be a small group. We want to be a big, huge group, because there's people out there that don't know that we're here. And I'm recent, like summer recent to this group, and this group, what they've done for me, I don't feel like my 4 walls are caving in on me anymore. I feel like I can walk outside my door and be the proudest mom of the best little boy in the world because of Advocates for Autism. I'm going to cry because you don't feel like you're accepted in the world. But now I accept it. I've always accepted it, but it's the stigma on things. But you know what? There's no stigma with our group. We're a unit.
You are what you say.
And we're really trying to do a lot for the kids, and hopefully we get a lot of new members that want to come. We're open to anybody. We're fundraising in Gorey next Saturday the 10th. We're shaking our buckets for Advocates for Autism. So if you can pop along the Gorey Main Street to come and even take one of our leaflets to have a read, on even ask if you might know somebody that is in a position that you know that they're on their own and they do have a child and they've never heard of the group. It's word of mouth, and that's how I found out about the group, was through Facebook. I seen a post coming up on Facebook to go to Pirates Cove, and I walked in there on my own with my son. But you know, when I left with a family for 2 hours. I was there, and I've never been alone ever since. It's just the world can be cruel, but you know what? It can be a very, very, very happy world when you have people around you that want to help you and want to give advice, and a community. And Advocates for Autism changed me and Alfie's world.
It is a community-based
Debbie
group.
can come in now.
It is a community-based group, and we are very family-orientated. Day or night, we pick up the phone, we could be texting, WhatsApps, and someone's stuck, we're there. Mary is absolutely brilliant. Mary's head of it.
Shout out to Mary
Shout out to
Doran.
Mary there now. On the ball, gives her time up. Mary's own time is very valuable to her own family. She gives up her time as well to keep this group going. Your last comment there, Dermot, was about a little boy who had concerns. I would say AON, Dermot, simple, keep it easy. Go to you go to public health nurse, but you can go to whatever district you're in. So let's say it's Wexford here. You go to a medical centre, you request an AON form, you fill it out yourself, you register it back to them, and then you wait in the system for the 3 months for it to happen or not happen. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
and if it doesn't happen, then you can go forward. But you must follow the proper procedure first.
Yeah, it does make sense.
And this is why we have Debbie here, because Debbie does a lot of behind the scenes work. She is so valuable to us with her information, with her campaigning, her canvassing, all that for autism. And now to have Debbie I'm part of Debbie's group, so to speak, because she was here before me. But it's the advice, and the tips and the knowledge that somebody else might have that you don't have to open the door for you.
It comes that you're not on your own, Dermot. You're not.
Yeah, it does.
That's what it's going to that you don't feel them walls closing in, that you don't have any options. Because I mean, when COVID hit, a lot of parents were affected.
Yeah.
And the walls did close in on a lot of us. And I think now, we feel we can breathe a bit more. And I think the members that come to AFA can verbalise what they want to say. Their children can be themselves, Dermot. So if they're running up and down the walls, well, that's fine. If you want, whatever your child makes it happy, well, it's free to do that, and no one's going to judge us.
That's what I was saying earlier.
If we didn't have the charity money, we can't do this. Like there's big events of Christmas that was done recently, of Santi. If we didn't have the donations in, we couldn't take our children there, because our children don't fit in with the neurotypical children. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
and
it does.
it's be unfair on them and on the other children. But we can slowly let our children, all disability children, be able to integrate, slowly. At least then we all stand a hope, and they stand a hope of getting a friend, Dermot. It's very important. Nathan, he's 24, okay? And with autism, with 24, as I said to you, he's autism. He didn't have that friend, Dermot, where now we've just, as I said to you about the group, is Oisin has friends, Kalina has friends, Alfie has friends, and all of the other mummies and their children have friends. And it's very nice to say you have one friend, Dermot. Just one. That's all you have.
To be fair, I should do more with Nathan, because we used to talk a lot, me and Nathan. We sort of got...
Jeremy, you have done, come here, you are absolutely amazing, and Jeremy, you are absolutely amazing to us. We couldn't ask for any more help in the community, and we are. And we're all together in this. That's the way I always say it to you, don't I? We're all together in this. No one's left outside, but it's important that I always feel that when our children are older, they're 8, 9, 10 now upwards, that they can go to the pub, they can go to a cafe at 20 and know that they look out for each other. It takes a community to look after all the children, not just one nanny. And as I see Alfie, I know Alfie shouldn't be there, or I know another child shouldn't be there. And that's what helps each other. So that's the moral of the group, to keep each other together, to fundraise, to get as much money together for the children.
And it can be, this is the point, you see, well, you touched on it just there.
Yeah.
It can be a very, very, very lonely world for a parent. So just I'm putting myself in Alfie's shoes.
Yeah.
And can you, like, in years to come, what way is it going to be? But I'm fighting that he's not. And this is what Advocates for Autism is all about.
You're not on your own.
You're not on your own. You've got friends. You've got people that care. We are raising the money and raising whatever we can. And the smallest donation, whatever it is, it all goes to this group.
I'm just going to read out a few comments. I'm just going to read a few comments here, because some of them you may have answered questions. This first comment is from our co-channel host, Ellie. I'm afraid he's not able to go with us today because she's just back from a weekend in Dublin. Sorry, I had fumes from the plane. I wonder what the story behind that is.
I have a fair idea, Philip, so we'll leave it there.
Yesterday, last time I saw her. But anyway, don't worry about that. This is far more important. And big up lovely lady Christine, who has come on, and we will support you 100%. That's absolutely spot on. Yeah. And the next comment is from John Fitzpatrick again. It says, Corey boy, the quicker you get it checked, the quicker you get the support your child may need. I think you've answered that question as well. John Fitzpatrick says, autism is more common than I would think. Well, it's programs like this would make people more aware of what's actually out there. As I said, a lot of people probably don't realize just how widespread the condition is.
And a lot of people don't realize that there is places out there that you can go and seek solace in. Just like I said, like I went into the unbeknownst of going to Pirates Golf that day, and look at me now.
People won't have one children nowadays. They'll have a couple of children that have autism. It won't. It's not like before you come across only one child, like you about.
But the social aspect that we're trying to provide for the kids is this is what this is for. This is why we're here now, to try and just get our kids out socializing. With our group, because it is hard to get your child to go somewhere. It's very, very hard to try and integrate them to something. But once our group are together, they understand, and it's great. It's great to be able to bring your child out somewhere now and not have the fear of the unknown. And this is the thing, we've 37, and it's hard. And you take it to heart if somebody judges you or a comment or something. But I've learned, I'm past all that now. So and this is what's happening.
I'm going to add a bit to this question here. John Fitzpatrick says, Christian, you're a living legend. I'm going to say Debbie's in there as well. I'll put the 2 names in. Well, I can see you're the best mothers out there. Big up, ladies. I'm just going to mend it slightly to read the way I think it should be, you know. Well done, John, for that. And Corey, again, this is a follow-on from the previous post. He screams a lot at things. Some noises set him off. Even if we're out in the changing room, if a hand dryer goes off, he cries. He acts out in ways as well. I feel like I'm letting him down. That's a very heartfelt comment there, Corey. But maybe, ladies, you could comment on that for him.
We could. My bit of advice would be try ear defenders. It could be some kids are very, very sensitive to loud noises, to any kind of sound, but they like my Alfie doesn't wear ear defenders, but he loves me holding my hands over his ears. It's a therapeutic thing. There's a lot of therapies as well. Regulating is a very, very good thing. An yoga exercise ball. My son jumps on that, having his breakfast every morning. I stand there and feed him. That's great. That's a really good one. It's all about regulating, and that word was like God to me, and so to speak, when I was told that. I never knew what it was, why he was so hyper, and then why he would react out to things. It's just they need to regulate. So I would try ear defenders and maybe an exercise ball. I think I think Harry said he was 3. He just has a lot built up and he needs to get it out. I'm just going on my little tips as well. What I've taught was great for Alfie. We got him a little indoor kids trampoline so he could regulate on that as well. But I would AON like trying to get the needs of assessment. That will be.
This is Mia, who
ear
defenders and the regulating. That's why I talked about that.
I have one child that has ear defenders that can't bear the Hoover, cannot bear the Hoover at all, or alarm. So there are ear defenders that you can get that can have background music in them. They're not expensive, but they'll take the trauma and they'll lessen the aggression of the screaming, if that makes sense.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So you're looking for the
Mia, who was on the program on Saturday for a long spell, giving us her experiences of her boys. And she says, sorry, a bit late, putting the Christmas decorations up. Very well done to you. Well done, Mia. It was great to listen to your story on Saturday.
Mia. Big up, Mia.
And here's Lily White Lane, afternoon all. Afternoon
I just want to say very quickly, Philip, at the start of the last Tottenham game, the Leeds captain walked out with ear defenders on with the mascot. For the Leeds game. And he got an awful lot of stick for that. And it's ridiculous.
That's when people didn't realise what it was all about.
He might need. He needed to regulate. He needed to take his mind off something, and you know, and that's where that comes into it. Yeah.
And
Tyler Adams. He's actually the American football team captain as well.
Yeah,
Tyler Adams. Yeah. So
I'm just reading the comment there from John Fitzpatrick to Corey. You're never going to let your child down.
You'll never.
Don't ever feel that way.
Feel that.
Don't.
You know, when people tell you to try one thing, try everything. But at the end of the day, go with your gut. If your gut tells you that it feels wrong, it's wrong. Just believe in yourself. And once you're strong and you can believe in yourself, you're giving that child example. Keep fighting. It doesn't matter how many doors are banged in your face. Keep going again. The more your child sees you fighting, that child becomes harder. It could become stronger. And that's what you want your child to be. You don't want your child to stand there and go, I don't know what to say. You want the child to say, I know what I want. This is what I want. So you have to fight that child and fight them battle.
Yeah, well, he's 3, so you're his voice.
You're his voice.
You're his voice. My Alfie's non-verbal autistic, and I'm his voice. And I shout from the rooftops for him for his life journey. So, Corey,
you can be done. Look, I have.
If you want to go on to Facebook, contact us on Advocates for Autism. Any advice that we can try and give you
we have so many different. No 2 children are the same. I have 6 ASD children, and none of my 6 children are the same. I would actually say some of them would be like their first cousins, maybe in some ways.
Yeah.
Yes. Am I correct, Dermot? Maybe one of them.
Yeah, definitely, 120%.
So what I'm trying to say is every child is treated. There's no technique for one child.
Not one child's the same. Every child's different.
So what I'm trying to say is that we may do it one way today and tomorrow may be a different way. And tomorrow may work and it might work the next day. But you keep finding it until you get it. And then once you've got one thing, you go on to the next thing. Baby steps. That's the way you say. A baby step is a milestone to us. And we go, yeah, that's great. When Alfie does something new, any of the kids do something new, that's a milestone.
And we broadcast it. We
broadcast it out. We really do now.
Alfie did this today, or Oisin did this today.
Love that.
Any of the kids,
the praise. They love even the schools and the units would say that. Praise, awards, achievements, and acknowledgement.
And we're putting into our group, and you know, when you feel like when you're on your own at home, say with your son, and you put this into a group, and you just get this praise back from all these lovely women that are in our group.
Support.
It's family. It's just support.
No judgment. Nothing. And help.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we all need that.
Looking at this comment from Corey Boy, this is a very heartfelt comment here. I'm actually upset reading this, but I feel I have in many ways. I had money aside for his Christmas present this year, but I've had to use that to keep a roof over our heads, the heating on, and food in our bellies. I've let him down. That's a very heartfelt comment, Corey Boy.
Corey,
that's very bad.
Corey, hit that link. Talk to the mammies in Africa.
Please. Now we would really like please contact somebody in the AFA group, even just to talk. We're here. There's a numerous amount of mammies here.
Yeah.
So please, and it's confidential.
Yeah.
Everything's confidential. So please, don't feel if in any way we can help you morally. We can advise you where to go. You know, whatever advice we have, we will give you. It's free. We'll pass it on. Don't feel you're on your own. And look, there's a gift for every child in this country, and I'm sorry, but we can all find a gift somewhere for a child. No child should be left without a gift or without a roof over their head. And please, everybody that's hearing this, please contact us. Don't be left with a child like that. Please don't.
Corey lives in Brighton, in England. So we're going to get you over to England. We're going to get you, because we've had people watching us from Vietnam on here. Believe it or not, which totally surprises me. Someone watching this ugly mutt.
But that's what people are aware, Dermot. That's what you're doing. You're making awareness to people that education is what will help everybody. Nobody knows. You'll know.
Corey, get involved. Hit the link. Talk to the mammies that they will help you, and we're
please
here
do
as well.
We may not be in the same county or the same country, but
come here. We can all help. We'll all understand each other. We'll find a way.
The comments are flying in here, ladies. I've never seen comments coming in as quick here.
I know. I'm just thinking that myself, Philip.
Another one from Corey Boy here. Got told I had to wait till he's 3 before they would assess Theo. But I can see it in him the way he acts. I read pages on mums and dad have said. So again, as the ladies are saying, Corey, make contact.
It's very hard to explain, but please make contact and we can help advise the road to take. That's the best way we can say.
All we can do. The best thing that the group has given me is advice, and it's always taken on board. If one mammy's bit of advice to me doesn't work, I'll take the next bit of advice. I'll try anything. And I know it's to me, Corey, that sounds like I know that's something you would do. And it just takes one message or even walking in one door to feel like you're not on your own. And I walk through one door and
John Fitzpatrick giving some advice here. Corey, I feel like you all the time, but at the end of the day, you're there every day for your child. That's everything to your little boy. Trust me.
That means more than anything.
Your
presence there for that child is a safety net. You are the safety net.
Carl Simpson, afternoon all. Good afternoon, Carl. And just a final.
Can I just go back there? Just one to Carl Simpson there. Philip, can I just go back to Carl Simpson?
Sure,
yeah. That man is the most funniest man I've ever met in my life. He is.
Hi, girl.
He will put some really funny comments in, and he has me and Philip and even Ellie in stitches. I'd be to a point where I'm much about to fall off my chair. I'm laughing that much. He is so funny. But big up, Carl. You're really our top bloke. So big up, man.
Yeah. God, there are literally dozens of comments here.
Yeah.
I'll just flash them very quickly, and we'll dwell on the ones that need an answer. Corey Boy, John says, thank you. John, thank you, John. David Clark is saying, this is why grandparents are so important to take the burden off the parents. That's a very important role. Do you find that, ladies, that the grandparents have to play an important role in the structure?
I would say it's very difficult in a family when
it's each to their own. There's people out there that have grandparents. I personally don't have my parents anymore.
And me either.
But there is people out there that are amazing grandparents, amazing aunties, amazing uncles. So I'd never take. They're advocates for their family. So
Their
Yeah,
sisters,
if you
your brothers,
have-
your aunties, your uncles, they're all your advocates. They're fighting
Yeah.
for your children. Your family, in different formats, they might understand, but they're trying to back you. Would that be a better way?
Yeah, and family doesn't
support.
have to be blood.
Doesn't have to be blood. Just remember that. Family, you know,
But if you have it, absolutely brilliant.
you have that opportunity and you understand.
I've actually met loads of grandparents that have come to, you know, our outings with
That's
the kids.
right, yeah.
And I call them all, hi, mammy, hi, nanny. I call them mammies and nannies because that's it. What the kids represent them as. So I wouldn't call them by their first. And the mammies and nannies who are watching, they know who I am.
Yeah.
I don't, because if say one of the kids are there, they only know their grandparents as nanny or auntie or something. So I'd use that phrase. I wouldn't change it up because I don't know what their aspect is at home, you know, and I wouldn't want to change something that people have already been working on.
So it is so it is very important. If you can and you take that help and you grab it.
All the help you can.
Because you never know. You just don't know.
Corey's saying again, it's a known fact that all humans have some form of autism. It depends on the person, on how it's shown. I went to a special needs school as I'm on the bracket. So that's, again, Corey, make contact.
Can I just add something to that? I mean, I went to a special needs school as a child. I went to St. Luke's, which is in Redbourne in Hertfordshire. And it was only recently I got diagnosed myself. And it makes my childhood more, I understand my childhood now, how I was as a child. It makes sense.
You finally have an answer, Dermot. It's like the,
I've always said, and I think I've said to you, Debbie, as well, there was always something missing. There was something I couldn't put my finger on it. Yeah. And looking back now, it makes so sense. It's so important that parents fight for their children. Don't give up. Keep going, because
never give up.
You've rang a bell in my head just there, Dermot. It's like, you know, when Snapchat say, and you look at a memory coming up, and I'd see memories coming up of Alfie, say when he was 1 and 2, and what I see now, and then when I look at a memory, I'm like, how did I not know?
Yeah.
But now I know. Do you understand? Because it's not out there. Like
there is no book. There's no rules.
Book.
There's no book.
And
there's no rules.
Years ago there was a taboo about it.
Yeah.
There's no taboo anymore.
No.
We're advocates for autism. We're based in Gorey, Wexford, and our doors are open. And
community is open to us. They're very good to us. We have boxes in each of the shops in Goreys.
Burns, Gorey, Courtown,
we have to
everywhere.
say we are being very lucky to the community to us. Have been very good in our area, and we genuinely as a group appreciate that.
But it's all about fundraising for the kids to for the social aspect for kids.
We need to raise
says it all there. This is a great cause and worth every second of support. Big up for all the work you do to support these children. That says it all, really.
It does. It really does.
I find autistic children are drawn to each other.
We've got a lot of kids that have just made like this bond, like you're Oisin and Marcus. Hi, Barbara. You know, they're the bonds. But I feel like I have little bonds with the kids as well. They might come over and just go tap me on the head or something, and I'm like, that's major. People mightn't think anything of that, but when you have an autistic child and they come over and even touch you or just smile at you, that is huge.
Like
that is huge in a child's autism
the kids know us, even with Harvey Bear Sue. It's one of the mammies, Harvey. And Harvey doesn't like people touching him or, you know, being near him. And now I can touch Harvey, as I call him, little Harvey Bear. And my daughter loves Harvey Bear and they have a great relationship. 2 people come into a room, just clicked. And Roisin and him just clicked. So in the middle of a room, that's what it took. And none of others, the rest of us could go near Harvey. Would that be the way? It just takes some time.
He's integrated with the kids. It might take 4 or 5 different times we all go out as a group. But it will happen, and everybody kind of. The mammies have a coffee.
Yeah, mammies have coffee.
But you know what? We can when we're in our group settings, we can actually sit and know our kids are safe.
Yeah.
Not being judged, not being nothing, and all of our kids.
They know they're okay.
It's just like something.
It's like the Sunday family day, we call it. You're going over, to be honest with everybody, you're going over to this big family hall and we're going to have a family sit down. Would that be what we said?
We are family.
We are family. We are family.
Yeah.
And we're all, and without the whole group, Mary, all of the ladies, there were so many.
Like we've loads of people on the board. Shout out to Mary, to Susan.
Yeah. Everybody, like the charity really is. But please, everybody, feel free to donate.
We'd love it.
We are going out next Saturday, as we said, to do it. If anybody is stuck for any advice, you don't have to be, you know, just pick up the phone and contact one of us. There's no judgment. If we can help, no matter where you are, Derm, as we said, England, Ireland, we're all one. We're all one. Autism is everywhere. So that's the way I look at it.
I just want to read out these last 2 comments.
Yeah.
And we really appreciate your time. And please, we'll get you on again. We'll get you on as much as we can. Any news, you will get it here first.
Appreciate that, thank you.
As I said, this YouTube channel is now going to be linked to yours. So any news, we'll get it out there. We've got John Fitzpatrick said, myself and my wife live in Australia and have no help. It's hard, but I wouldn't have it any other way. My boy is my world, and I feel like I'm going to be his biggest voice in his journey through his life. And
you are his voice.
She just said it. She just said it.
Yeah, you are his voice.
And that's a strong person. She is his voice. So not everybody can be strong. You have to be built up to be strong.
Yeah.
That's why we say the group is here to build you up, to take the knocks so that you get back up there. You're a warrior and you get back up again. And all the kicks that take you down, you still get back up again.
But that's what we're there for.
That's what the charity's there for.
And we're fighting for our kids. We're our kids' voice. We're their advocates.
Yeah. And that's a simple one.
Yeah, we've got Aaron Dubb saying, same with me, Dermo. 5 different schools, got kicked out of them all in 1980, sent to a clinic when I was 6. They said concentration problems. Only got diagnosed ADHD 2 years ago. There is help now. And that's the thing.
Yes, like we said earlier, it was non-existent back then. It was a taboo.
You were a bold child back then. You just bold then, and that was it. Yeah. There was no, and you were hitting if you had any other disability. Them days are gone of hitting. Yes, we still have a stigma that some people don't like to talk about it. But that's where education comes in. If we don't talk about things, nothing will be solved.
And this is what we need. This is why
this group for us as mammies is, we can walk in and say something, and if we said it to somebody else, Dermot, it would say, you'd be afraid of what they'd say to you, what would happen, right? But in the group, no, that's okay, because that's, whatever it is.
Yeah. I always come home after being in the group with new knowledge.
Everybody has something new to share, different ages, and everybody has something to give in the group.
Yeah. And you know what? It's great. You can actually... I'm a crier. I cry all the time.
Christine is our emotional crier, Dermot.
You've done very well by not crying, I have to admit.
I cry after.
You cry after, Dermot.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is, I cry because it's
important.
It's important, and I feel like I can show my emotions, but it's a gratitude emotion, and I hope, and a lot of other mammies are the same. Like the embrace. I just. AFA all the way, guys. Advocates for Autism. If you can donate 50 cents, anything, it all goes to the kids.
We just genuinely appreciate it.
And our doors are open and members are welcome.
Yeah. So the link for the GoFundMe's on the top of pinned in the top of the page. That's the link for the Gory Awards. Please hit that.
Please hit that. Please, guys, for the kids, hit that. Please.
And also the link for the Facebook page is on our YouTube channel. It's the link. You go in there. The link is there. So please press it. Girls, ladies, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much. And Philip, we're so grateful, and we really are. And thanks for the donations, Dermot.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye now. The donation's been kept open to be reached 1,000, and once we get 1,000, it's coming to you. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Brilliant.
Bye, everybody.
See you later. Bye. Bye. There you go. I don't know where Philip's gone. Philip has probably lost his internet, but there you go. But look, that was Advocate for Autism. That was Debbie and Christine, the two of the mammies that are in that group. And please, everyone, do what you can. Even 50 cents. It means a lot. It really means everything. And there is my wingman back again.
My thing just froze on me there. I couldn't even see what's going on.
I tell you one thing, Mia just hit the nail on the head with that comment, and really true, Philip. I mean, big up, ladies, amazing mammies.
Exactly. No, that was very interesting. And it really was. John, I'm going to make a suggestion here. We should get those ladies on once a month to see how things are going.
I think so. That's what I was thinking. That's a very good idea.
Just to get the last day of every month or so, just to see how they're getting on the previous month and what fundraising they've done, and I think that was an amazing half hour, the quarters of an hour. It really was.
It really was. Carl Simpson, great now. I feel emotional over my lunch break. Cheers, guys. That's all right, Carl. We're here to serve you. And Chris says, big up Dermot.
It almost feels like, to change this to the subject of the World Cup. It seems to be it's awkward, you know. That's just those girls are so enthusiastic about what they're doing and so committed to the kids. It bring a tear to your eye. It really would.
It does. I mean, I've never seen comments fly in like we've had today, Philip. Honest to God, I've never had. I mean, we've got Mia here. You learn to be strong as a parent with child with additional needs. Fight always for your babies. Exactly. Carl Simpson, thank you, ladies. Aaron saying not the jobs. Well, okay, Aaron, yeah. Up Wexford. You know, not me. We'll get me on. We'll get Sam next week. We'll get Sam next season. And then what else have we got? We got Theo, Corey Boy, lad, and then it's just so many comments coming in. David, it's very common for little boys to have a speech delay, so it's not always autism, mate. Yeah, that's so true as well. But Philip, let's go on about the World Cup. The group stages are now finished. Let me see, can I get the groups up here? I did have them in the slides, so hopefully they're still here. Where are they? Oh, here we go. Right, Group A. Do you want to go through who's qualified from this group?
Well, I mean, it looks very much like the two teams through there, or the bottom two. They are through Senegal and the Netherlands. Bit disappointed with Ecuador. I thought they would have done better in the match against Senegal, but they more or less rolled up the white flag. They didn't make any really attempt, even when they were losing. They showed no urgency. So I'll tell you one thing: Senegal will be a very tough match for England on Sunday evening. They will be, really, really tough. And okay, then the next, the Netherlands. I forget who are they actually playing. I need to look that up now.
The Netherlands are playing USA, and Senegal are playing England, and we are doing a watch along Sunday for the England-Senegal game.
Yeah, that's true. So I think that will be very interesting. You know, Qatar are the only home nation never to gain a point at any World Cup. So
that's true.
I think it proves that they shouldn't even have been there. So
sorry. Yeah, it does, Philip. Do you think England, Senegal? Who do you think will win that?
Sorry, I didn't catch that, Dermot.
England, Senegal. Who do you think will win that?
I think England will probably just shade it, but it will not be an easy match. It really won't. And I think it wouldn't surprise me if Senegal pulled off a major upset, but I think England will just about shade that 2-1. And hopefully Harry gets on the score sheet, because some of the stick he's been taken from so-called football fans is absolutely unbelievable. I mean, the guy is, even though he hasn't scored, he's the leading assister in the World Cup, where he was up to yesterday. And he's like the pass he made for Phil Foden's goal against the match there the other day.
Wales,
Wales was just sublime, you know. I mean, he's still criticised, and some of the comments have seemed frankly quite disgusting about him. And I'm just wondering, would those same people be still up in arms about it if he scores a winning goal in the World Cup final? Probably. And
then the Netherlands Holland should beat USA, shouldn't they, Philip, to be fair?
They should. But I like this USA team. I think this USA team's got a lot going for it. And any team with Christian Pulisic in it has got a chance. Now, while Netherlands will probably be too strong for them, it would not surprise me again if there was a major upset there and the USA got through.
It's been a World Cup of many upsets, hasn't it, really, so far, Philip, to be fair?
I think last night was probably
I tell you, we will get on to that group. I tell you, that was just... I missed the Argentina group, but last night was a total head.
Let's go through the rest of it, and we'll get to that.
Yeah. England, USA, where we talked about them.
Wales were disappointing to have to say. And they had a couple of passengers in that team. One of them, I'm sorry to say, was Gareth Bale. That's what you get when you go to play football with a second-rate team in America, really. Apologies to any LA fans there, but like he needed to be playing in competitive leagues to get fitness levels up.
Yeah.
And same for Aaron Ramsey, and not great. I have to say, our own boys, Joe Roden and Ben Davis, did not do anything to disgrace themselves. They did okay. Ben Davis,
I don't know. Against England, Ben Davis was a bit dodgy.
He's a bit dodgy, but like you know, at least he was competing, he was trying, he was fighting, he was there, and you know, anyway. I hope he's not badly injured.
No. Just a quick before we're going through the groups, but somebody's put a question into the chat, so I'm going to take this off, Philip, and actually get on this. This broke a few days ago. He says outside the World Cup concepts, Paratici news is nuts. They are saying he was central to all the Juventus financial operations. Look, my view on this: Paratici is still a don. He's come to Tottenham. He's done more than what Hitchin and all the rest of them have done in 10 years. And for me, I don't think he done anything wrong. But what's your views on it, Philip?
My view on it, I think this has already been investigated. This is part 2 of the investigation, and that he was found innocent the first time around. So what are they doing again? I do know that the board of directors of Juventus, which he wasn't one of, as far as I'm aware of, they've all resigned. They're reputed to have been hiding losses in excess of 200 million euros.
Yeah.
Now, Paratici was a director of football or director of whatever. I cannot see how he would be held responsible for the financial end of things when that would be a board level decision that would be made. So this could be someone just, and again, this could be another anti-Spurs agenda. We all know they're out there.
Yeah,
that's true. Something to make out that, oh, this is going to affect Spurs. I agree with you. Paratici is a don. He's done nothing wrong, and he will be hopefully found innocent again in due course.
Yeah, and look,
and nail a few more players from Juventus in the meantime, all the better.
Yeah, and also he will prove people wrong in January as well, and I'm totally convinced over that. Yeah. Right, we'll go back to these groups, Philip. Argentina, Saudi Arabia, Mexico. This group now probably must have messed with a lot of people's heads. Do you want to go through the final days group, Philip? Because I'm still
the final matches for Argentina and Poland, right? And for the first half, Poland didn't manage a shot on target, off target. I don't think Lewandowski touched the ball, basically, in the first half. They were absolutely woeful. Okay, they came alive a bit in the second half. And I felt sorry for Poland, actually, the first half, because there was a penalty given for foul by Chesney on Lionel Messi, which was an absolute joke. As he went for the ball, his arm went backwards, and he more or less brushed against Messi's face. And they gave a penalty for it. Joke. Anyway, justice was done, and Chesney saved it. But anyway, Argentina were too strong for them. They won 2-0. But I think the team I feel most sorry for is Mexico.
Yeah.
Because they were 2-0 up against Saudi Arabia. And that meant they had an identical, everything was identical record with Poland. They played in the same games, same points, same goals scored, same goals against. And in the 95th minute, Saudi Arabia score and put Poland through. Now, as it turns out, Poland would have gone through anyway, because on the count back, once they can't separate by points, goals scored, goals against, and goal difference, the next thing on the agenda is yellow cards. And Saudi Arabia had, Mexico had 7 yellow cards against Poland's 5. So that means Poland would have gone through anyway. But it was horrible for a team like Mexico to have a team like Saudi Arabia, who, again, you know my feelings on Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, I do.
That they shouldn't be there. And they were very, very sorry for Mexico. So Mexico played good football. And they're gone home again. I believe there's national mourning nearly in Mexico over it.
So Poland and Argentina have gone through that group, which for me, my team's still in the World Cup, Argentina. So we're still on the march.
I must say, Christian Romero the other night kept Lewandowski in his pocket completely.
He did.
I say when he got back to the dressing room, he was still there. He was in his shirt. You know, so now, well done, Christian Romero.
Yeah. Group D. Now, this for me was a shock.
This is the most disappointing group for me, in so much as I expected a lot more from Denmark. And I think their fans did as well, because they didn't really perform. I know they got beaten by France. They drew with Tunisia, and then they got beaten by Australia, which is a bit of a shock, because they didn't seem to have an answer to when Australia went ahead. Australia were the better team for most of that match. Christian Eriksen played very well. Our own PL Højbjerg, I think, looked totally absolutely knackered in that match.
Yeah.
He was exhausted, you know, and he was getting a lot of criticism from a lot of the pundits the way he played. But, you know, the guy isn't a robot. He's got to have, you know, he was tired. And but then again, it's good to see teams like Australia getting through. You know, it is. And France, no one's really tested them yet. That's really all. They played a second-rate team against Tunisia and got beaten, but there's no need. They could have well afforded to lose that game.
Yeah, that's so true. For me, the Tunisia-France result, that was something else. It really was. Group E, Spain, Germany, Costa Rica, Japan. Now, Philip, I was watching this last night. Now, at one point, for about 30 seconds, Spain and Germany were going out.
That's right.
And I put in the chat, into Dave's chat, he was doing the watch along. Oh my God, Spain are going out. As soon as I put the chat in, Germany scored.
Yeah.
Look,
it was
for me.
I was actually flicking between the two games. Yeah, I was watching the Spain, watching the Costa Rica match, and you know, then when I saw that Japan had gone into the lead, I switched over and watched that, and it was quite amazing that for the second World Cup running, Germany have not qualified. I know they've done it. It's in controversial circumstances.
Yeah,
like I really do think that second goal for Japan. Now I'm delighted Japan won, but I think their second goal should not have been allowed. I think that ball was out of play, no matter what VAR says. And it's been called the death of VAR, that they can't even get a simple ball out of play thing right now. They're saying the circumference of the ball was still over the line. Didn't look like it to me. But anyway, the decision has been made. Germany can now moan about a ball crossing the line like they did in 1966. And so they've gone back with their tail between their legs. Japan, I mean, absolutely amazing story.
I'm over the moon for Japan. But Japan have beaten the two big teams. They've beaten Germany. They've beaten Spain
and Germany. And also their fans are absolutely magnificent. The fans tidy up the stadium before they leave. They pick up all the rubbish. They leave it away. They bring it away with them. And the team do the same in the dressing room, which is quite unheard of. So, I mean, they're my dark horse for the competition. They're playing brilliant football. And another thing I'll say about this, if Germany analysed the last 15 minutes of that match last night, I think they'll find that Spain weren't trying too hard to equalise, to be honest with you.
Do you know,
because
I said to you, sorry, Philip, go on.
No, I was going to say Spain knew that if they could lose last night and still go through. But Germany being out of the competition means there's one less obstacle for them to overcome. So I think there was a bit of gamesmanship going on there. The Spain knew the story and didn't try too hard. But the sad thing is, really, if they'd have scored another goal last night, Japan would have been out and Germany would have gone through.
I know.
So
I think it's sorry, go on.
No, go on.
No, I think it's the worst German performance in the World Cup since 1938. This is the worst. And for me, Germany are now at the crossroads with their football. I don't think the German manager is going to be
Thomas Müller came out after the match and said this was an absolute catastrophe. That's the way he put it.
Yeah.
Like, normally losing a football match is disappointing, but when you hear the word catastrophe, you know that there's something seriously wrong in that camp. And I can't see Hansi Flick. He said he's there till 24. I'd say he mightn't be there till the 24th of this month, the way things are going. It's just, he'll probably be gone, you know.
I have to say, Japan's become my new second team. I have to say, I love watching Japan play.
Oh, I love watching them do it. And they're a small in stature team. They're not a big team. Yeah. You know, they have some very, very skillful players. And I wouldn't be surprised now if the relationship between Spain and Germany are not too hot at the moment. You know, or they're probably a bit frosty. You know, and if this was back in 1939, Germany would invade them, but not anymore.
I knew you said that last night, and I knew you're gonna. I'm waiting for it. I was just waiting for that. Big up. Sorry, I apologize for my coughing.
Touch Poland, you know.
No, sorry, I apologize about my coughing. I've got this really bad chesty cough, so I do apologize.
Hey, do you want me to read a few of those comments then?
You can do, yeah. Go on.
Let's have a look and see what we got here. I'll just go back a bit.
I'll bring them up for you there, Philip, and you just.
You bring them up and I'll read them.
Yeah.
Then this Denmark side just haven't got the players they had in the past. Well, that's true. They were a little bit lightweight there, and they're one of the most disappointing stories of the World Cup is how Denmark not to go through.
And then we've got John Fitzpatrick.
Aaron, I bet you're buzzing with Japan. Yeah, I mean, I think everybody should be buzzing with Japan, really. But when you look at the teams that have got through to the next round, you've got Senegal, you've got Tunisia, well, not Tunisia, you've got Morocco and Japan, like teams that you wouldn't normally have in your top three, really, have now surprised the big teams and gone through, which is great for the game.
It really is. It's brilliant.
Canada played. Oh yeah, that Alphonso Davies fella for Canada is some player. I mean, they should have beaten Belgium in the first match. There's no reason why they shouldn't have done. But they found out a bit. They play lovely football, but they're a bit naive, and they don't have a finisher.
No, 1986, they played 3, lost 3, didn't score a goal. This World Cup, they've played 3, lost 3, but they scored 2 goals. So they've broken their goal scoring dot. This group, Philip, very quickly, Group F, Belgium, Croatia, Morocco, Canada.
Belgium, Croatia, Morocco, and Canada. Well, I mean, that to me, looking at that group before the game started, it was Belgium and Croatia all day long. Belgium are in absolute chaos now. Apparently they're infighting. Jan Vertonghen is calling the forwards too old, and the forwards are calling Jan Vertonghen too old. So and as for Romelu Lukaku, I've never ever seen a performance like his in the second half yesterday. The guy could not hit a ball from 3 yards, and he proved that numerous occasions yesterday. I mean, some of the chances he missed, I would have scored them myself when the eyes closed.
Yeah,
he's the main reason that Belgium were out of the cup. Yeah, because they would have. I mean, the miss that he made from 2 yards out when he tried to chest the ball in, that was just incredibly amateurish. I felt sorry for the guy, and I bet the Kuwaiti or the Qatari authorities are now sending him the bill for smashing up the dugout when he got in. Did you see that when he punched?
But to be fair to him, Philip, he's only had 28 minutes of football.
I know, Dermot, but I mean, from 3 yards out numerous times, missed every one of them. But one of the misses was not a miss. It was probably the tackle of the tournament from our target, Guardiola. That tackle was absolutely brilliant in the 92nd minute or whatever it was. That kept Croatia in the championship. Well, I'm sorry for Jan Vertonghen and Toby Alderweireld. I mean, I love them to death for what they did for Spurs. I do think that Belgium team now is going to collapse like a house of cards, and the older players will all be gone. And it'll be a while before we hear about Belgium again. Really, when Eden Hazard only gets on the 85th minute for a sub player, there's something wrong. You know. Croatia, I love them to bits, and I think Ivan Perisic had a brilliant game yesterday.
Oh, he did. For me, he's had a great World Cup, to be fair, Perisic. He really has. And Modric as well. That man is still class.
Modric, when you think the combined ages of those two guys is 70 years of age. Yeah. And look what they're doing, you know. Brilliant.
It is. We've got Dave Clark here. Dave, Philip, do you want to ring some really what he
People said Spain have been the best team in the World Cup, and I nearly gushed my cup of tea down myself. I knew if a team went to Spain, they're very vulnerable. Yeah, true enough. Yeah. Spain looked great in the first match, but they've been living on the nerves ever since. And to lose to Japan, only draw against Germany, they could be vulnerable in the next round.
Yeah. And then you got this one here.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't agree with that. I've seen angles on that ball where the ball was totally out of play. So, you know, you have to accept the VAR decision, but it depends at what moment they actually stopped the play. RTE had a picture last night that definitely showed the ball maybe at 2 centimeters out of play.
Yeah.
So the Germans are going to moan at this for the next 50 years. That's going to be their get out of jail card, really.
It was about that much over the line, to be fair.
Yeah. It was. To say the circumference wasn't, but it just shows you VAR can't even get that right, really. No. You know. But anyway.
Then he's got to say, it goes to show you he's not this world-class striker people made him out to be. Was shocking in the EPL, old Premier League, went to Italy, did okay, came back a bench warmer. Yeah.
That says he has been injured, but I mean, there was no excuse for missing those chances yesterday, really.
They're ready. And then we've got Carl Simpson here saying, I'm telling you, this World Cup is anyone's. It's so open.
Yeah, that's true. Very true. Yeah, but with the likes of Germany gone, Belgium gone, they would have been the two of the European favourites. They're both gone.
Yeah, right.
Hey, so this is going to be G tonight. Then now, okay, Brazil are already through. Serbia, Switzerland is going to be an interesting game tonight. And the Cameroons, I think, more or less out of it. So Brazil will play a second team tonight. They'll probably still beat Cameroon. Serbia and Switzerland, that's going to be tight. I would not like to call that one. I have a sneaking feeling Serbia might just nick that and go through.
As I like to call them, the itch team. Every play, the itch is, it's about the itch. It's really funny. For me, Brazil, Switzerland. I think Switzerland can still get through, so I'm going for Switzerland.
Yeah, they could. I mean, it's a toss-up. It really is.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And then now we've got Portugal, Ghana, Uruguay, and South Korea.
This is funny. Okay, Portugal are through. We know that. Now, Portugal are playing South Korea tonight. Now, Korea would need to hope that Portugal play a weakened team and then South Korea win about 3 or 4-0. Because I took a note there earlier. I think for Korea to qualify, let's see now. Okay, if Uruguay beat Ghana, right? And Korea beat Portugal. Portugal or South Korea need to win by one more goal than the goal difference at the minute is -1 South Korea, -2 for Uruguay.
Yeah.
So they need to keep that, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think that Portugal will probably still beat Korea tonight, to be honest with you. And tough enough that is on top. The funniest thing about the Ghana Uruguay match is, I don't know if you saw the spat that Luis Suarez had yesterday.
Oh,
Apparently 12 years ago, as we all remember, I remember this, Luis Suarez stopped the ball on the goal line from going in for a goal for Ghana that would have taken them into the semi-finals of the World Cup.
Yes.
And I think Denny went up and scored at the other end himself. So Uruguay, now whether by accident or design, at the press conference yesterday, they sent in Luis Suarez as the player representative. And I'd say this is what the Ghana press have been waiting for the last 12 years. One of the guys says to Mr. Suarez, you do realize that in our country, you're known as El Diablo, which is the devil.
Yeah.
Do you apologize for what you did in the World Cup 12 years ago? And Luis Suarez turned around and said, no, I've nothing to apologize for. I did nothing wrong. So this is going to be a grudge match tonight. If Suarez is playing, it's the first tackle that goes in on him, because it's going to be a grudge match. And I'll tell you, it's going to be a tight Game.
I'd
love for our Bentancur's sake, who's been the best Uruguayan team player by a mile this World Cup, that Uruguay go through. But I have a sneaking feeling Ghana are going to get revenge on them tonight.
I think so. Go through. Yeah, for me, Sonny's been very quiet out sorts for South Korea, though South Korea should have beaten Portugal. That game was mad. And the Cameroon game was mad the other day. Look, for me, I think Portugal and Uruguay should go through from that group for myself. And then, sadly, Ghana will go out. But Philip, what have we got coming up next week? Because we've got one hell of a show coming up, haven't we? And do you want to explain to people what show we're doing?
Well, we're going back in time a bit, because I know a lot of Spurs fans maybe have only, seen the light and started supporting a great club maybe in the last 10 or 15, 20 years, even sooner than that. But what we're going to do is we're going to do a bit of a history lesson, starting back in the good old days when the club was formed around 1882. And we're going to discuss the still unique and will never, ever be equaled achievement that Tottenham Hotspur did in 1901, was winning the FA Cup when they were still a non-league team. But just think about it.
Yeah.
Can you imagine a non-league team winning the FA Cup in this present era? Not a chance.
No.
Then we're going to carry on to 1921 when they won the Cup again. And then we're going to bring it up to 1945. And during that period, we're going to discuss what White Hart Lane was used for during the 2 World Wars. And we're also going to bring in Walter Toole, who was the first black player, one of the first black players to play for the club. He wasn't playing for the club at the time of the First World War, but he won the Victoria Cross for his efforts and was sadly killed during the First World War. And then we're going to go back up to World War II, when the club, that when the stadium was used as a base for some of the services that were firefighting and stuff like that. So some very interesting stuff to come along. I'll give you an indication of the background behind our great club and the springboard that all those previous teams and managers made to bring us up to the 50s and 60s when we really hit the ground running.
I mean, some of the research I've done and some of the slides I put together, like our first ever manager and his win rate, and John Cameron, when he came in, the first manager to win a trophy with us, and the history of him. And then I've got some stuff on Bobby Buckley, who's actually the man who founded, with the other people, founded Tottenham Hotspur. And it really goes back to what the club stood for, why it was founded. And for humble beginnings. There's a very interesting story too, which I don't know if many people are aware of, is how Tottenham became a professional club. Yeah. And that's a very interesting story. And it's one that more or less came about by accident. It did. So that's next Thursday, I think, isn't it, Philip? That's going to be do that. Yeah. And it's going to be a three-parter. We're going to do everything up to 1945, and then from 1945 to 61, we're going to do, and then from 61, we'll go right up to the present day. So it gives you a bit of look back in time, why you're missing Spurs and with the World Cup. And some of the pictures I've found on YouTube by researching this, Philip, is mind-boggling. Some of the pictures of White Hart Lane. I found a picture of White Hart Lane from their first match they played there. And it's funny, they were on Tottenham Marshes. I'll give this little story how White Hart Lane came into existence. They were playing on Tottenham Marshes, and they were getting crowds of 4,000 to the Tottenham Marshes, and they had to move because somebody stood up on top of a burger van, and it collapsed. So they knew they had to move, right? And there was the only bit of land that was free was behind the pub, behind the behind the corner pen, I think, which is used to be the corner pen. That land was free, and they only rented it to Tottenham if they can guarantee them 1,000 attendance for a first team match and 500 for a reserve match. And that's how they got to White Hart Lane. And it wasn't called White Hart Lane to begin with. And we will go into that. It's been under different names until White Hart Lane was formally adopted. But
I think I'll just give a taster of the professional story. I'll tell it in full on the night. But apparently, back in whatever year it was, Spurs were going to loan a player from Fulham to play in an FA Amateur Cup game. And because apparently that was quite common in those days, you lend players between clubs, but he arrived at the ground with no boots, and they couldn't find a pair of boots, so they went out and they bought him a pair, which broke the amateur rules apparently at the time that you couldn't provide. So Fulham complained. Spurs were kicked out of the FA Amateur Cup. They were banned for 2 weeks, and then that means they had to turn professional. So it shows you we might still be an amateur club only for that pair of boots.
Yeah. And also, I found a picture of England playing Germany, Nazi Germany, in 1935, was played at White Hart Lane as well.
That's right.
So I found there's loads of pictures. Yeah, I've loads of pictures I found, Philip. So I'm putting the slide. What I've done, like the 1901 Cup run. I've done the managers. I'm doing all the even the directors took over for a while. So we'll go on to that next Thursday.
Yeah, it'll be good. Yeah.
We're back on Sunday with a watch along for England, Senegal.
That's a 7 o'clock on Sunday evening.
I'm supporting Senegal just for everyone's thing, and so is Philip, I think.
No, I'm going to be neutral on that one. We're going to go good cop, bad cop on that one, Dermot.
Yeah, and then we'll probably do a few more watch alongs, and then Ellie's back next week. And Philip, you can close the show because I'm bugging up now, and I'm sounding like an idiot. So I'll let you close.
I'd like to thank the girls from Gorey coming on there, the ADA. It was just heart-wrenching to listen to them, but uplifting to hear their enthusiasm and their absolute commitment to the cause there. And I will say again, anybody who hasn't contributed to the GoFundMe account there, it's on the screen there at the moment. Please, every penny you raise is going to be absolutely appreciated and put to good use. And if we will hopefully reach the target of €1,000 by the time we close this stream next week.
Yeah, we're up at 860, I think, so far, Philip.
Yeah, we're not that far off it. So anybody who hasn't put their hand in the pocket now, if they do it now, it'll be really, really appreciate it.
And then
With
that's
that,
the
we
link.
shall. There's the link there. The Advocates Autism AFA. I mean, I know they're based in Gorey, but anyone's got a problem, no matter where you live, contact them on Facebook, and they will be able to. They'll talk to you. They will be delighted to talk to you. And also, they're going for the best charity in the Gorey area. And if you can go into that website there and nominate them, the Advocates for Autism, and give them a vote, and it'd be great if they could win that. It really would.
Yeah,
be well deserved.
It really will. Philip, thank you for everything you've done today, for taking the lead and everything. Philip, you've been brilliant as always.
No problem, Dermot. Pleasure. And we'll talk to you shortly, and we'll see how the matches go on Sunday.
Yeah, we're back Sunday, 6:45, England, Senegal. I'd find a Senegal flag from somewhere and start waving it between now and then. Anyway, take care of yourself. God bless you. And please hit that GoFundMe. Let's get 1,000. Let's do it before Sunday. Let's see, can we come on Sunday when we've hit our target? God bless you all. Thank you very much. Come on, you Spurs.
Bye-bye.